Good Sunday morning. I'm Brian Colleran, and this is NBC5 In Depth. For the next 20 minutes, we will focus on immigration, to those doing it the legal way, to what's happening at our border. It's certainly a topic that's going to weigh heavily on voters when they go to the polls in November. This morning, we hope to give you an idea of the efforts that are going on here in our region. According to numbers provided to us by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the number of illegal apprehensions at the northern border have skyrocketed over the last several years. In 2021, during the pandemic, the Swanton sector made a total of 365 apprehensions for the entire year. That situation has changed dramatically post-pandemic. You can see from 2022 to 2023, that number increased sevenfold. This year, the record has been shattered in just 8 months. It's an election year in Washington where both parties have literally drawn a line in the sand over what to do with the immigration issue and the border. The president has signed an executive order last month to address the crisis at the southern border. The White House says it will protect those seeking asylum and penalize those that unlawfully cross the southern border. We recently asked Vermont's Democratic Senator Peter Welch if there is a solution on the horizon. He told us two things need to happen.
Okay, number one, a nation has to control its borders. So I'm against these illegal immigration. That doesn't mean that folks who have legitimate asylum claims still be able to make them. But just showing up at the border, you have to have a secure border. Second, we really need more legal immigration. You know, folks who come here legally, it can be done without putting an incredible burden on local communities that aren't prepared. It can help our economy.
Northern New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has been very outspoken about what is happening at the border, saying it's the Biden administration's failure at the border that has caused the rising number of illegal entries into the country. Stefanik visited the Customs and Border Protection headquarters back in early April, meeting with the sector chief, Robert Garcia, and the acting port director, Todd Bolson, discussing the illegal border crossings and staffing shortage that exists. She said at the time there's a desperate need for more resources and support. In a letter last month to the Director of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, the New York Republican demanded the director provide answers to more than a dozen questions to how many people have crossed the border, how they were screened, where they were going, to how many of them have been identified as terrorists. We recently took a trip to Moores Forks, New York, Stefanik's district, where we spent the morning with Randy LeCount. He's lived in the area his entire life. He and his neighbors say their properties are being trespassed and damaged on a regular basis by the people crossing illegally through the woods. That day, he showed us two vehicles, these two vehicles, left on the border on his neighbor's property. LeCount shared his biggest concern with the rising numbers.
Safety. Our biggest concern is safety and the infringement on our privacy. You know, our children, when they go outside, I have grandchildren, we have friends who have children up here. They're scared. You know, the kids are outdoors, the kids run inside. They're getting on the bus in the morning. You know, the illegals are sitting on the lawn. When the bus rolls up, the bus driver's like, wait.
Customs and Border Protection confirmed to me that the 7 people were apprehended from those two vehicles, 5 adults and 2 children from the UK and Ireland. They were processed and will have a future immigration hearing. We wanted to know what Customs and Border Protection is seeing, so we asked and got invited for a ride along with the agent in charge of the Richford, Vermont station to see the challenges they're facing right now. You all put out a post this morning on Facebook, 10,000 apprehensions from 83 countries since October of last year. I mean, that's a shocking number, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it's really gotten busier up here. You know, it's real concerning. We're doing the best we can to sort of meet the challenge, and a lot of that is changing how we do things, and you know, looking for more resources where we didn't have them before. But those challenges, like you mentioned, the countries, you know, we have, if you can imagine, like interpreters and things like that. It's a lot of different countries. It's not just sort of, you know, the Spanish-speaking countries that we saw, you know, 2016, like you mentioned. It's a lot of different countries from all over the world nowadays. And so there's a lot of challenges in not only arresting those and interviewing them, finding out what's going on, you know, looking at the crime that was committed, and you know, dealing with them and even trying to communicate with them. So a lot of extra challenges there, and then the traffic alone, detention space, what we're going to do with folks when we catch them. Those are all challenges that we're dealing with right now.
When you interview them, do they tell you? Do you ask them, where are you going?
Absolutely, yeah. We try to do an interview. It's a crime, and we try to do a criminal interview on them. Sometimes they don't, answer our questions. Sometimes they do, and it's like anything. We formulate, strategies to try to solve our problems based on that.
Where are they going? What are they? Why are they entering the
It's
U.S.?
all different. Interior United States, their destination is usually the cities and towns in this region, especially. A lot of folks are going to the New York City area, Boston, but I would be doing a disservice to say there's one area. They're going to all over the continental United States, different areas.
Right. Would you consider, there's been a lot of reporting over the last couple of years about what's going on the southern border, and they call it a crisis. It's, crisis is, whenever there's a story done, it's always called a crisis. Is there a crisis going on here at the northern border?
I think we've got a challenge up here for sure, and that we've got to deal with. Law enforcement and Border Patrol is meant, to work crisis and problems. Like that's one of our goal, part of our mission, like you mentioned. And so semantics is one thing. We don't seek to make up terms for things, but we've got a law enforcement challenge that we're dealing with up here, and I think our guys are meeting, our men and women are meeting the challenge. But it's just a matter of resources and getting increased focus on what's going on up here.
You mentioned resources a couple of times. Are you guys stretched thin because of the rapid increase in the amount of illegal attempts to enter the country and the apprehensions?
I wouldn't mince words there. We're absolutely stretched thin. They are on the southwest border as well. Border Patrol can always use more resource and manpower, and the northern border is no exception. Like I mentioned to you, 295 miles of border, largely wooded. There's lots of roads in between, lots of square mileage that we also patrol in the interior. We always can benefit from more people, and that's definitely a factor.
Our agents will drive these roads, back and forth, making cuts every day. This is a lot of what their day is.
You credit the community for being very active. I got to imagine if you live along the border, you have to be another set of eyes and ears to you all.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. We count on it. It's part of our strategy. And we really appreciate the public working with us, calling us. We're active, very active, putting out information, our hotline to our sector dispatch, to the public. Our guys, part of their mission is to go out and talk to local residents, and even if they don't call us, we talk to people out in the field and get the intelligence right from the residents and landowners in this area, stakeholders we call them. Very important to our mission. It's a critical part of the Border Patrol's mission overall, to have outreach there, to have cooperation in that spirit of working together to solve this problem.
They come down through these field roads, came right down through here. You can see, actually this culvert right here was damaged by the vehicles when they drove over it. Their tracks, they came over, and that's 2 weekends in a row we've had people hit us here.
In October of 2021, I'll just give you an example, 25 apprehensions. 3 years later, nearly 1,100. I mean, they must be calling, you must have people calling or emailing at this point every day, right? Whereas,
it's pretty steady.
It might be a couple of times in 1 week.
Right.
It's got to be pretty steady. How they must be.
And they've always been good.
We've always been vigilant.
Absolutely. We've got a great relationship with the landowners up here. 2021 was kind of that post-COVID period still. A lot of the border was still shut down with Canada. So those statistics are a little, take them with a grain of salt. But it has always been something we've counted on, and right now it is a flood. There's quite a bit of activity going on, and it's resulted in increased calls.
What's their biggest concern? I mean, for the folks who live along the border, what's their?
I think it's probably personal safety, public safety. It can be jarring in the middle of the night when someone comes into your land. I mean, no one should have to go through that.
Right.
Where they're coming in and give us a call. We'll be there. As soon as we can. Like I said, we have limited resources, so sometimes there's delays, but that's probably their number one thing. Most of these folks are safe. They're not all criminals, but there's always, concern there, and people are right to give us a call, and we'll show up, and it's a serious crime that we take serious. That's probably one of the number one.
And I'll end with this. In an ideal world, these numbers would dramatically decrease. How does that happen?
Well, it's a complex solution. You know, I think a lot of it happens in the political sphere, you know, and that's not our game.
Yeah.
Some of it can happen in the enforcement sphere, which is our game. And we're taking steps every day, you know, surging manpower, looking at different areas, targeted operations. I'll keep those a little closer to the vest in terms of what we're doing, but we are diligently working on it, and we are very concerned about the surge here and just, you know, a response to it. So our bosses are very active in DHS and CBP, and we are too. So, you know.
We want to thank Customs and Border Protection for the opportunity they provided us.